Hey everyone, welcome back to Lunch Hour VR. I'm your host, Max Noir, here with my co-host, Edwin Rogers, and today we're super excited. Edwin is super excited, you'll find out why in a minute, to bring on today's guest, who is Veronica Flint, a guru at immersive interactive story adventures. Veronica, thanks so much for being on today. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yes.
Awesome.
So I am super excited to have Veronica on the show. We have actually not always kind of interacted virtually, but we did an intensive 5-week virtual production fellowship that we Epic Games created a virtual production fellowship. Both of us participated, and we were both on the same team, Team Bessie.
Team Bessie. Team D.
And of course, Veronica's project is absolutely breathtaking, amazing. You're about to see it in a second. And it was one, it's just incredible. Her work is absolutely incredible.
Great. So, Veronica, could you tell us a little bit about what you've been working on recently?
Yes. So like Edwin mentioned, I was part of the Unreal Fellowship Fall cohort. Prior to that, I've been working in VR, XR, AR since I'd say 2014. Since the Oculus DK2, I've been tinkering on and making my own little indie projects, working at a bunch of different studios, working on VR projects. Working mostly in the entertainment realm of creating interactive media projects. So I've been doing that. I've been recently getting more into virtual production due to my background in motion capture and character animation. So I've been very much come from a creative technologist and technical artistry background. So applying that, and the past few years, 3 or 4 years now, I've been developing my own projects as well. So I premiered a VR project back in 2018 called the Chimera Core Era, which was a group of friends and of similar interests in making immersive video games. And so a group of almost 50 people came together and said, let's do this. And since then I've also done a HoloLens project. And now I'm developing 2 other projects as well. So hopefully make some announcements soon.
Sounds busy. Well, I want to show a little bit of what we're talking about. So in the fellowship, we had 5 weeks to create a short film, and this is Veronica's amazing work. She took a little less than 5 weeks to do it. This is her cram work. Just to put it, how amazing she is. Here you go. All right. That was amazing. Now, can you tell us a little bit about this? Stunning. Can you tell us a little bit about the story? I remember when you were coming up with the concept and the idea.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing.
I want to know what happens next.
Good. That's a good thing. Yeah, I came up with the idea on a random day, either in this office or in the kitchen. And I was thinking about like worlds up in the sky, and then I was also thinking about solar punk, and yeah, it just grew, and it just kind of just grew from there. Apparently, there's also a book that also has like a tower up in the sky called from Arthur C. Clarke. Like it has a space elevator, so it's a combination of just like inspiration and visual cues from like just things that I like in general, solar punk, cyberpunk, so steampunk, and then also like I think I also really love the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, so taking those science fiction and then bringing in modern day and what the future would be like, and it was like, yeah, maybe the future everything will be submerged in water except one little giant tower. So, but yeah. There are a few things I wanted to throw in there for that short, but I didn't have time. I was like, we're cutting this for time. And then I don't know anything about sound or music. I know I'm just like a visual story person, and so I just bring on a couple of folks that I know that do sound and audio engineer to help out on the fellowship. So
yeah, the audio was amazing, and so you definitely picked a talented group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
well, I saw.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I was going to change the subject a little bit, but I know that in another piece of content of yours, there is definitely some sound experimentation, which was very amusing. Do you know what I'm referring to?
No.
Got some dragon sounds that you're making.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't remember. 3 years now. Yeah. I like to have fun with the microphone sometimes, and yeah.
Cool. So I know you're working with HoloLens a bit as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've done with that in the past, present, maybe future?
Yeah. I still have the HoloLens right there. And basically when did the first time I played with the HoloLens was back in 2016 when there was a HoloLens hackathons during the summer. And so I did that, and that was my first hands-on experience with the HoloLens. And so just plug and play and tinkering in Unity within, I think it was 24 hours or 48 hours over the weekend. And yeah, and so since then, I've had that HoloLens project in Unity. And then when the time came along, I believe it was after the second HoloLens hackathon, I had a friend who had her own company, and she had another friend, her roommate worked at Microsoft, and they were like, hey, they can put together a program on spotlighting developers and engineers and creators who build out XR projects. So yeah, and I think I either shared it on social media. I shared something related to AR, and then a friend reached out to me saying, "Hey, maybe we can get you a free HoloLens." I was like, "Okay," and then I find out, oh, it's actually part of this cohort where we're going to spotlight female creators, and I was like, "Okay, cool." So yeah, and so that's when I got the HoloLens hookup. I think it was also in partnership or supported from the VRLA community back in the day. So yeah. And then I was like, I've always had this idea of a pet simulator game, but pets that don't exist, like mythical creatures and dragons. Obviously, I like dragons because I like Spyro the Dragon. So yeah.
You want to show that?
Absolutely. And before, I just wanted to say that Spyro the Dragon was one of my absolute favorite video games ever. So definitely resonate with that.
There it is.
All right. Oh, there he is. Brings back nostalgia. All right, I'm going to play this clip.
Cool. When I was a kid, I used to play this game called Spyro the Dragon, and I really loved that game. I fell in love with it. And I didn't want to do a virtual dog game or a virtual cat game. I wanted to do something that doesn't actually, exist in the modern world. The HoloLens is an amazing device. Rather than just being augmented on the device, and through this camera, you can overlay whatever you create on top of the real world. My Little Dragon is a virtual pet simulator game, except this time it's a dragon. The cool thing about dragons, they can fly, breathe fire, and do a lot of interesting more behaviors and things compared to other generic pets. Well, virtual pet games and mixed reality is going to be awesome because some people, they live in apartments and they can't have dogs and cats. I don't have a pet and my place doesn't allow pets, but it allows virtual pets. So when you say come here, he starts to walk towards you, and then if you continue walking, he'll just continue following along. So if you want him to stop, you just say stop, or wait, or stay. It's basically taking the best parts of having a pet and letting go all of the horrible things of having a pet. I've been coding for about 2.5 years now. In the beginning, before I wanted to get into game design, I was afraid of coding. I didn't want to do coding because I thought it was just going to be some mathematical way of doing stuff, and I was never really good at math. If you've already played video games, you understand this does this if you do this, and so translating that visual game knowledge and logic into actual coding, you actually realize there's not really that much math involved. I'm also in the stage of implementing sounds for the animations, and right now there's no sounds, so I want to do a dragon yawning, I record it in my bedroom and using Audacity. I do everything myself. Oh, what a nice little video. I haven't seen that in so long.
That makes me so happy.
Now, I need a little, Daenerys dragon right next to me. No joke, but seriously, that is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about that. Also, Kevin Ang, this was a comment about before. Kevo says the influences seriously show beautiful work, and that's about the first video. Thanks, Kevo.
Oh, cool. Yeah, where did that come? Yeah, basically, in the video, I just I love AR, and I like being able to project that. When you see stuff with a virtual or animated character in a live action movie, it's always funny, or it's always entertaining, and but it's it's cool that you can just take that your imaginary friend that idea and then make it interactive. So yeah, possibilities are endless. So
tell me a little bit about your development work. So Unity, Unreal, what are you coding with? Can you get a little bit technical?
Yeah, Unity. So my background has always been just primarily in the 3D application space. So 3D modeling, or doing animation or rigging. And so I come from that. That's where I went to school for, but I didn't take any coding classes. So I had a few years after schooling and taking, jobs or internships and yada, yada, yada. I just had to just self-teach myself coding. So either through documentations or YouTube videos. And then it was Unity script back in 2014, a combination of Unity script or JavaScript, Unity JavaScript and C#. And so C# is way, way better. And then as I got further more into the coding and understanding the logics and the scripting and components, I just got better at it. And then just now it's exclusively C# within Unity. And then within Unreal, it's just blueprints.
yeah, blueprints. But you were learning Unreal Engine before the fellowship. Because you mentioned going to their offices and stuff like that. I definitely think that Unreal Engine is amazing. I don't know much Unity, but I feel like as soon as I took that big shout out to Unreal Engine for creating the virtual production fellowship, by the way, that made me feel like I had suddenly got superpowers, that I could create anything that I can imagine. And the only thing that's stopping me is just learning new skills. And it's just incredible.
Yeah, that was very helpful. So they had classes in Culver City. Unreal is building out an LA lab in that specific space. But yeah, they were having classes all of not last year because it was the pandemic, but the year before last year, and yeah, they would just like teach people within the industry just the Unreal Engine, the fundamentals, and it was the same instructors that you currently see in the fellowship that were in that class. So like Sean Spitzer and Brian Poole and a few others, and Sean Lake was working there too. Yeah, so it was cool, and yeah, apparently I have a couple of friends there that work in that same office too. So it's like nice to see, like, hey everybody, like, hey, nice to see you. I know you work here now. But yeah, like when you get a job at Epic Games, they fly you out to North Carolina for orientation. So yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
I think you work, and if you're in LA, you work there. So yeah.
So what was
That's awesome.
So since the fellowship, I mean, what was it that you felt like you gained? I know I definitely gained new skills that I didn't know, period. And now I'm just continually trying to learn more skills and stuff like that. Do you feel like since then, there's anything changed?
Yeah, I learned a lot from those classes. There's things about like optimization and advanced blueprint fundamentals and sequencer fundamentals. They had classes like that, and so that was very helpful. Because it's kind of tricky to like learn on your own and like guessing things or trying to read through documentation and like not understanding what's going on. And so the classes were very, very, very helpful. You could always just instantly ask questions, and so
I like that even to this day we could Slack both of us together and also reach out to people and they'll respond and with answers to questions. So it's like you feel like you're a part of a family.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey guys, I just want to sort of reset real quick and remind the audience that if you do have any questions for Veronica at all, just pop them right in the chat and we'll see them and we'll answer them. So real quick. And I want to move on for the sake of time. I know you did a virtual reality project as well. I would love to show a clip of that.
Sure.
So I'll show that and you can let us know what we just saw.
Cool.
I have so many questions, but
oh, you do?
But I'll just
really.
I'll just let you jump in.
I mean, I look at it now and go, "Oh, that was in Unity. What if it wasn't in Unreal?"
Oh my God.
Well, actually, someone in the audience has a question, so perhaps we can start there. From Kevin, I'm just starting to learn Unreal on my own. What other resources do you recommend diving into aside from the virtual production primer and Unreal's own library?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a couple of other ones out there. I just there was this one course on how to do like virtual camera operation, virtual production. I mean, like the Unreal's online learning source is a good one in general, but there's a couple of other resources out there that teach it. Yeah, there's online ones, there's classes. I believe Noman is going to be doing a virtual production. They're doing virtual production classes. Studio Arts. Yeah, so there, and then there's a couple of other online resources. I just forgot the name of it, but they teach more hands-on, like using physical equipment. So like using Vive trackers, and VR headsets with virtual production. So like if you have like a camera rig, you can like how to apply a Vive tracker, a Vive puck onto it. And then also rendering as well, like post-processing and lighting. So, but yeah, there might be also some really good YouTube tutorials as well on setting that up.
Yeah, like
some GitHub links. Some GitHub links that could be good to look up. So, but yeah.
On YouTube, Matt Workman has been doing sharing a lot of his work on YouTube, and that's how I kind of learned a little bit about buying the setup and the rigs for virtual production. So if you want to have like a green screen setup and you want to have a professional camera rig, because a lot of this is for filmmakers. I found his tutorials the most extensive. It is kind of there, and then there are other people that he references in his links. I forget their names, but they own studios and they show the behind the scenes of creating a studio with a green screen, or creating studios with LED wall backgrounds, which are completely different monsters. Stuff that we touched on with the fellowship, but obviously not everybody could have access to 80-foot LED screens.
LED screens pretty pricey, or you can't fit that in your bedroom or office. But green screen might be a good start, because at least with green screen you can there's the Unreal real-time live compositing thing that's going on. You can use your own camera. Getting to understand how to like track a camera and a green screen and matching lighting with the physical actor. And then also like the time code and gen locks syncing up. So you'll just have to like put in just a little bit of money to like, if you want to learn this stuff on your own, but it's definitely worth it. So you get to learn all the industry standard and tools and software. So
awesome. And I am curious about the clip that we just watched. If you could just tell us a little bit, like, what was that game? Like, what was your role in the project? And, I saw lots of people with like motion tracking, just like whatever you got. Let me tell me everything.
Seems like we've thrown everything at it.
Yeah, we did. It was a project that I started over the late summer of 2017, and we were doing things like motion capture and using optical markers and OptiTrack and perception neuron motion suits, and all these are all just like friends who were that were part of the performance capture community, they're actors or they've taken courses at mocap vaults. A friend of mine had a mocap stage at Fonco Studios, and Fawn Davis, who owns it, has a background, 30 years of experience in building miniatures and props and special effects for Star Wars. And so, I go there from time to time, and we just created this, like, I'm like, oh, well, I'll just write a script in 10 pages. We'll just make this. And then I would just like put together, because I've already had like a scene built out, world building a project in Unity prior to like deciding let's do this with a friend of mine, TK. And I worked with some of the crew and cast before on another VR project, and this was a VR project that got into Tribeca. And so everybody was excited when they found out that I was a part of it, and they were like, oh cool. So more people wanted to join in on the project, so it had voiceover, sound, just direct. I was just basically directing the entire project and working on it as well. day, night, weekends. Yeah.
That's amazing. So where can we see it? Is it something that we could check out on your website?
Yeah, there's well, right now it's in the alpha phase, and so like yeah, I've been just only sending out Steam and Oculus links. So, but yeah, it should be coming out pretty soon. The plan was to have it be an LBE extension of it, and then COVID happened. So, yeah, we'll see. Later next year, we'll release it to the public, rather than conferences and film festivals.
Go to veronicaflint.com if you want to, follow her and her work as well.
Awesome. And we unfortunately already have to start wrapping up, but I did, as a sort of closer, I wanted to ask you, Veronica, what advice would you have to give to maybe, a kid or not a kid, but anyone who's just sort of like just getting started in learning any of the engines?
Well, I'd say continue playing video games and studying them and learning from them, and try to copy and replicate what you liked about it, or like jog down what you loved about that, or movie or film or game or whichever you like, and then try and create something on your own. Yeah, or there's plenty of documentation now online. So yeah, download software away.
Download Veronica's games.
Yes, I definitely want to do that. That dragon, I want a dragon in my house that doesn't burn my furniture.
All right, guys. Well, we have to wrap up. As always, that went by really fast. Time flies. But thank you so much, Veronica, for being on the show. It was lovely getting to know more about your work.
Yes, thank you so much, Veronica.
Yeah.
And next time we'll have you on the show. We'll have enough time to see all your cool virtual boys and all the amazing. Right on her shelf, she's got every single VR headset imaginable. Back to the virtual boy. I was I got K1. Cool. Well, I got a virtual.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the Quest. I don't have the Quest 3. I only have Quest 2 and 1.
Only. I love it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Please do consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/lunchhourvr. Thank you, Veronica and Edwin, and we will see you guys back here Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Bye-bye.